and welcome back to this podcast. It's double-sided. My name is Winnie, and today we are joined with Ifunanya.
Hello, Winnie. Thanks for having me here.
Thanks for coming along. So we're going to be okay. Before I start, if my voice sounds a little bit cranky, it's actually because of the cold. There's a lot of cold here, so please make sure to cover yourself, check on your loved ones, and just stay safe this season. Okay, so the topic we're going to be discussing today is about living or staying behind in this country. Should Nigerians leave Nigeria in search of greener pastures, or should they stay behind? So we're going to be exploring the double sides of this conversation. Ifunanya is going to be on supporting people should leave the country. That means she believes that people should Japa, people should get away from this country, and I'm going to be on the side that people should stay behind in this country. So we're not travel advisors or anything, rather we're exploring a conversation that a lot of people have had on the streets, on the roads, in churches. Just we all know that everybody's thinking about either leaving or staying. Some people don't have the resources to leave, so that thought never really comes to their mind, but some have the resources and they're always conflicted. Should I leave? Should I stay? Even with or without the resources, it must have crossed your mind at some point. Should you leave this country or should you stay? So without further ado, let's get started. So what is your first argument for leaving this country?
If I have my way right now, I'll be flying to maybe UK. No, I love Canada. What comes on anybody's mind, anybody that wants to travel, is first, good life.
Yeah.
Yes. Good life, good medical care, medical facilities, good education system, and at the same time, safety. That's the most important. Right? People tend to migrate or emigrate from Nigeria to other countries first because of safety.
Okay.
You find it so interesting that people sell their properties.
Yeah.
They sell their assets, millions of assets, and then traveling via study route or for work. These countries will also, ask you to tender your proof of fund.
Yeah.
How much you have. You see them taking as high as 40 million plus. Now, it means that anybody traveling, I don't know how you're going to work it out here, but anybody traveling abroad should have at least that amount of money in your bank.
Okay.
Meaning you're not living lower here, but you still want to travel.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Okay, I get your argument. Your what you're saying is, even people that want to live abroad, they have to have some sort of financial backing before they can even contemplate.
Yes, before the country will make sure that you're not going to be a liability when you come over there. Now you sell all these assets to go there, so you think, you reason in your head why people sell all these things just to go there to start all over again. One is safety. You don't want to have all that kind of money here and you're still watching your back.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Now out there is orderliness, there is safety. There are security agencies who work perfectly. Now, Winifred, here in Nigeria, the life expectancy here in Nigeria is 54 years.
Oh, really?
Yes. According to National Immigration Service, the life expectancy here in Nigeria is 54 years. Okay, now, meaning if you're in Nigeria and you're above 54, you're already living in a miracle. It's a miracle,
Yeah.
So, why would you want to get all those money and still you will not enjoy it? So, it's not better to just go over there where you feel more safer, where you will not check your back, what's happening at your back, then understand. So people tend to live as a result of safety, to where they will feel safety, where there is security, consciousness. Another one is this. They say there is dignity in labor.
Okay.
Yes, there's dignity in labor. You see, especially people in the health sector, the teachers and all that, they're working here. You're working here and it seems you're not being valued back home. Fine. Apart from them earning peanuts, they are not still valued. They don't treat them well. They don't get the necessary incentives that they're supposed to get as health personnel. But out there, you are valued. Even if you're a dishwasher.
Okay.
All right. You see people, during lunchtime, They come to where they're having, like, everybody is valued, everybody is important, irrespective of your position in the establishment, they are valued. But it's not like that here in Nigeria. It's not like that here in Nigeria. You're working, you're even, you just are begging for your salary. Okay, if you're a teacher, you're a lecturer, before you know it, you guys go on strike, and then you see yourself, you know, back to square one, even though you have a job. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So when somebody like that living here in Nigeria, sees an opportunity to travel, won't you take it?
You know,
I mean, you're going to take it and go where your services will be valued. Even back here, they tell you learn a skill, learn this and learn that. You end up learning a skill, and then there's no company here that will employ you. You still have to go on LinkedIn, go on Upwork to look for employers abroad, that will pay for your service. So when you look at all these things, you see traveling abroad is better. By going there, every skill you acquire, you must eventually see a company that will want to pay for it. Unlike here in Nigeria, we're not even, there are no more industries here, to work in. There are no more, too much fames, firm, and all that. So you see that traveling abroad is far more better than staying here. Now, what about healthcare? What about healthcare? Now, Society for Family Health records that malaria and tuberculosis are killing people in Nigeria. Like every 9 Nigeria dies of malaria every hour. Do you understand?
yeah.
Yes. 9 lives are lost as a result of severe malaria every hour. And every Nigerian, like 200 Nigerians die of malaria every day. Now, this translates to poor medical facilities. Okay? Now, when all these things are rampaging, there is tuberculosis or going on, it's hitting children more, all right? And everybody wants something good for the child. It's hitting children more, and then poor sanitation. All these things and many more that are happening will prompt you to even Japa. So how can you tell me that if you are experiencing all these things here in Nigeria and then you see an opportunity to go over there? I mean, I'll run away. I'll go ASAP, where I'll have good medical health care, where I'll not be checking my bag for security. In Nigeria, if malaria doesn't kill you, bandit will kill you. That's the
How come
truth.
you're still alive?
Yeah, we're still alive because of the grace of God. And like, this really means that, like, say in Nigeria now, alive in Nigeria is by the grace of God. Yes. If malaria doesn't kill you, tuberculosis will kill you, or bandits will buy you. So why? I mean, life over there is simpler, is easier. I always choose to Japa. Yeah, to have my way right now, I'll Japa Wilfred.
Okay, are you done with your argument?
A little bit.
Okay, so there are some things you mentioned I wanted to use as a starting point for my own argument. So you mentioned doctors and nurses leaving the country for greener pastures.
Yeah.
Now there's a term that we call brain drain. So is it brain drain? Brain drain, brain death. I think it's brain drain.
Yeah, brain drain.
So brain drain is simply when professionals, skilled and educated workers migrate to other countries in search of countries with greener pastures, with better economic living, with
Okay.
stable politics and good jobs. That is what happens to most of our doctors and nurses here in Nigeria and engineers. They would leave the country to go to the UK, the Canada, or places where they feel their skills will be more valued. But what happens when brain drain? What happens when this occurs? What happens when these people leave? You go to a hospital in Nigeria, you want to see a doctor, and it takes you 4 hours before you see a doctor. Why? There's a shortage of doctors in Nigeria because every doctor is leaving. There is a shortage of nurses in Nigeria because every nurse is leaving. There's a shortage of engineers because every engineer is leaving. And it trickles down back to us. You mentioned that people are dying of malaria. Part of the reason why people are dying of malaria is because while there are no good medical facilities, there's also no proper medical personnel. You go to a hospital, a doctor attends like 50 patients. So you stay in line before a doctor can eventually see you. Sometimes I'm not even sure if the people you meet the people you meet when you go to hospitals are doctors. They may be consultants. They just taking your complaints. They don't direct you. But what I'm saying is, when everybody leaves the country, research has shown that it actually weakens innovations and slows development. And we see it when there's a lack of lecturers, there's a lack of doctors, there's a lack of nurses, a lack of professionals to help us here in Nigeria. Yes, you've gone over there, you're helping them, but what happens to us here? When people go to the hospital, they don't get care because the nurses are not even enough. And nurses are overworked here because other nurses are leaving. Doctors are overworked here because other doctors are leaving. So when they're overworked, they're not able to attend to more people. So that also means that you may have health concerns and you may not be able to see a doctor on time. Are you seeing how all these things actually connect?
So are you asking them to stay back where they're not valued?
I am telling you that when professionals leave a country, it leads to a brain drain. It leads to a brain debt in the economy. And this is what happens as a result. Some of the issues you've mentioned is as a result of professionals leaving the country.
Yes, they actually left because they were not being treated nicely here. Do you understand?
Now, I get what you're saying, but then it brings me to my other point. You mentioned about people selling properties. Yes, before you travel abroad, you're supposed to provide like a proof of funds to ensure that you can sustain and take care of yourself in whatever country you're planning to go to. And this proof of fund doesn't come cheap. Sometimes it goes as high as 20 million, 25 million. And you know, the proof of fund increases the more the more number of people. So if it's you and your husband, it increases. If it's you, your husband and a child, it increases. So it increases the more people you add to your application.
Yes.
But this thing you just said now about how the systems work there, we know that there's evidence to the contrary. I mean, Japa, leaving this country is not as successful as people plan it out to be. There's so many things that happen. One, you leave the country and there's racism. You leave the country and there's discrimination over there. You leave the country and there's homesickness. You leave the country and you're being profiled. You leave the country and there's a high chance that you are starting all over from scratch. You may not even, because I know you said that when you go there, there's no skill you will learn and you will not get jobs. But come on, there are people there that are jobless, and it's not because they are lazy. You know that this job, even with the advent of AI, it has reduced the number of jobs available for people worldwide because a lot of companies are using AI to replace what humans would normally do. So people that leave the country, Japa always paints a successful or a nice picture that it's a bed of roses. And sometimes the grass isn't greener. There are people who have left this country only to come back and they'll tell you that it isn't so easy as people make it out to be. That's my second argument. So remember, my first one is brain debt. When professionals leave the country, it affects the quality of life here in Nigeria. Because so many will leave, you may not be able to take your grandmother with you. So your grandmother is going to meet a doctor who may not even be a doctor and get poor medical attention, which will in turn affect her standard of life. That's my first argument, that brain debt affects the economy, it weakens innovation and slows development. Two, Japa is not a bed of roses as people portray it to be. There are so many things that happen when you leave this country. So people need to bear that in mind before they leave. So do you want to go forward or should I continue?
Now, you made mention of the nurses and doctors leaving, and then leaving less doctors here to attend to patients, right?
Okay.
Now, do you think those doctors leaving, they left because they actually wanted to? And the reason they left was because of how much value they attach them back home, how much their remuneration is back home, how much are they being paid, the doctors and nurses so far. Now, when they go over there, they are being respected and also paid well. Yes, they're being valued. Now, when you're working in an establishment and the people you're working with treat you like you're nothing, they treat you like you're not bringing value to them. I mean, you begin to question yourself, why am I here? Doesn't mean I'm not doing anything. You want to leave that establishment, right? That is how these doctors felt when they were back home. Now, incessant strikes, not paying them. Imagine people that do a very sensitive work like medical practitioners and you owe them here. I will be forced to leave to a better place where I will be valued and being paid well.
You make a valid argument, but let me counter it.
Okay.
Now, you said that people are leaving because the standard of life is not good here.
Okay.
Let me ask you, if Nigeria was good, would people leave the country?
That's the problem.
operates. Now, if Nigeria was good, people would not leave the country because every single thing you're living for a country that has a better standard of living, better politics, and better value for your life, so to
Yeah.
speak. So, if all those things were in Nigeria, that means you wouldn't leave the country because we would also be a very good country. But you're now missing the point where it is citizens like you and me that make this thing a very good country. When we come out to vote, when we exercise our democratic rights, when we hold the government accountable. If everybody leaves, nothing changes.
Then how long have we been holding the government accountable? That's the question.
Okay.
Now, I want to. In 2022,
Okay.
the average number of departure immigration was around 2.1 million Nigerians left the country in 2022.
Okay.
Only. Now, at the rate of 2 years, 3.68 million people has left. So, like 2022 till now should be how can you do the math?
That's 4 years.
That's 4 years. Nothing has changed in 4 years. Now, as nothing is changing, the number of immigrants are increasing. And the government is not working. They're not trying to make things better for them. That is why they continue living. And Japa is, people like Japa, even as we're talking to ourselves here, go to Muhammad Airport, people are living. Every now and then. Now, it boils down to the system. The system is the problem. And how can you stay in a country where the government will not give you the basic amenities you need?
That's what I'm trying to say.
An average Nigerian now, Winifred, you provide yourself with electricity. There's solar in your house. You dig your borehole yourself. Even the so-called health, this thing, you don't have health grants here for people. So why would you want me to stay in a system that is not working? I would Japa as a nurse. You know, people prefer to go there and start all over again for peanuts than staying here in a country that is not working. I mean, you can't preach patriotism for a hungry person. You can't be hungry and tell me to stay for a country. No. Nothing is improving.
Okay, let me give you my third point. So I believe that real change comes from people staying. Let me give an example. An example is Japan. So after the World War II, there were Japan was badly damaged, and there were some cities that experienced more damage, far more than others. An example is Hiroshima. So Hiroshima had a bomb dropped on it so badly that nothing could go there. The land was buried.
Hiroshima is still in Japan.
Yes, Hiroshima is still in Japan. And then something happened. So after that World War II, Japan did not have resources. I'm talking about when it comes to
natural resources.
When it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to machinery, what they had was human capital, human intellect. They used that to rebuild their country back. Another example is Singapore. Another example is Rwanda. Rwanda is an African country, but their organization, their politics, their government works for them. And I'm trying to give this as an example to show you that change doesn't come once. It doesn't come in one government. I know you say, oh, fine, 2026 and 2022 and 2026, what happened then? That was 4 years. More people are still living because nothing has happened. In fact, it seems that things are getting worse. But I've also given you examples of what happens when people stay. Japan today is a force to be reckoned with. Singapore is beautiful. It's where everybody. Singapore is like a major passport opener. If you as a Nigerian travel to Singapore on a tourist visa and you want to travel to any other country, it increases your chances of a visa getting accepted. But Singapore wasn't always like this. Rwanda is a very beautiful African country that has a lot of tourist spots for people to visit, but Rwanda wasn't always like this. So this is what happens when the citizens and the government come hand in hand together to work to make their country better.
Did you say citizen and the government?
Yes. So I know that you're saying that yes, they're not valued here, and what you say is very correct. There are some certain professions that should not be affected by strike.
Exactly.
Professions that educate our youth, professions that educate our country, professions that care for us. You cannot be owing people money who are teaching and training your children. You cannot be owing people money who are caring for the healing in the society. And to make matters worse, sometimes when you go to all these hospitals, they don't have the necessary equipment, not due to any fault of theirs. You go to a government hospital. I think I read that there's only like one or two MRI machines in the whole of Nigeria. An MRI machine is supposed to scan for issues in your brain or things like that. So sometimes you see people doing what we call guesswork. Okay, you have this, like for example, let's say you have some certain symptoms. In UK or US, for example, what they'll tell you is just run an MRI scan. Let's see what's going on in your brain. Let's see what's going on in your body.
Yeah.
But here, because we don't have the machinery, we do based on guesswork. Oh, you have this, so it could mean this. Take the medicine for this. Do you see? Because we do not have that proper machinery.
You second guess in people's life.
Yes. And I'm not saying that, I'm not saying what I'm trying to do is I'm not trying to downplay your point. I'm saying that I understand very well that this country is a shithole, that this country is a mess. But living doesn't make it better. That's what I'm trying to explain. That when people work together, when the citizens and the government work together, living doesn't make it better. Because if everyone lives, who's going to change this country?
Everyone is not living. Nigeria has a population of 200 million people.
Okay.
All right. I think you can record about 71 million diasporians in Nigeria. So there are so many people here, okay, to make things
And
work.
almost everybody here has plans to leave. That's what I'm trying to say. So
why not?
So so you say everyone cannot leave. I'm telling you that if everyone has the opportunity, they will leave.
Why would they leave?
That's what I'm saying. You're not getting my point.
I'm getting your point.
You're not getting.
I'm getting your point. I'm trying to tell you the reason why people are leaving.
Yes, I'm trying to tell you the reason why they should stay.
If the economy is working well, I think they will stay. But it's not. They say, okay, let's stay till next year. Let's envisage that things will get better. Maybe the next government will make things better. And then the next government comes in, it gets worse.
Okay.
What would you do? You start planning for a Japa. As easy as it is.
Yes, but I need to understand that most of the people leaving are professionals who can actually make this country better.
Who told they are not still making the country better from where they are?
Oh, we're going to get into that later on. Let's not put the cat before the horse. Okay, so my next point is every country needs builders. So no country can be built in isolation. We need people to build this country. We need our doctors, we need our teachers, we need our lawyers, we need our engineers. We need people that are going to work together to make this country better. If everyone keeps living, if the people who are equipped keeps living, how will you grow your country? How will you grow your country when the brightest minds are leaving your country? Think about it. There was an article I read about a doctor who performed, he performed surgery on a woman who was pregnant. Her child, or rather the fetus of it, had like a brain issue. So he opened that up, brought out the baby, operated on the baby, and put that baby back. And the baby continued growing life like nothing ever happened.
When did this happen?
And then the woman brought the child to term and delivered her successfully. This was done by a Nigerian in, I think, US.
Okay, because he had the resources there too.
Thank you, because he had the resources there too. But now I'm telling you that if such situation had happened here in Nigeria, either that woman or her child would have died. Or she would have given birth to that child and the child would have that brain issue for life.
Do you know why?
Now, this is what happens when our bright minds leave.
If that same doctor was in Nigeria and that happened, there will be other things that will impair that thing to happen. Do you know what they will be? There will be no tools. You don't understand?
Yes, we're all saying the same thing.
That doctor was there. There were tools, the intellectual capability was there. There were also tools to perform that thing. Even if the brain is there are no tools here. Our hospitals are not equipped to run those things. So the problem is from the system.
Exactly. It's from the system, but this system is made up of you and I. What's the definition of democracy?
The government first.
The definition of democracy is a government by the people and for the people.
Okay.
So it is meant for us. The system is meant to work for us.
But it's not going for us.
Yes, but how is living? Okay, fine. You said 2.1 million people left in 2022, 3.8 left. Okay, as they've left now, has it made the country better? And as we have stayed, has it also made the country better?
So what are you insinuating? They should stay and die?
No, I'm not saying they should stay and die. But I am saying that we should stay, demand and be accountable, and demand more accountability for our government and work towards making the government work for us.
These people did not just wake up and leave. They've been here demanding, crying, exhausted all their abilities. It's not working, so they left.
I know.
Do you understand?
So if you go out to vote and your vote doesn't count this year, doesn't mean you don't vote next year.
I'll Japa.
What I'm saying is, we shouldn't let setbacks stop us from working to fix this country. That's what I believe.
I remember the last election.
Okay.
When it was between P2B and Tinubu, right?
Yes.
So they were saying, people in diaspora were saying, if P2B wins, that they're going to come back You see how much they crave to come back for
Okay.
a working system.
Yeah.
Now, this thing is all determinant in the government. Had it been maybe their favorite candidate won and the economy got better, don't you think they'll come back?
I feel like you shouldn't judge based on what people say because Wole Soyinka also allegedly stated that if Donald Trump becomes the president, he would tear his US passport. He did not tear.
So,
So
United.
yes, so let's not use what hearsay, what people say until
I'm a realist. I'm not talking about sentiment.
no, you just said that people said that they will come back if Peter Obi is the president. I'm saying that shouldn't even be part of the argument.
No, that should be counter your this thing of saying that would they still stay on or travel.
We've already established that people would stay in the country if the country was better.
Okay.
But what we've established is leaving the country doesn't make it better. It's like, who is going to make the country better if everybody's leaving?
They've tried working on it and it's not working.
They will keep working on it.
Why suffering when you have an opportunity to go out there and get it's the argument doesn't stand.
It stands because at the end of the day, Nigeria is your home country.
Well,
and at the end of the day,
that.
no, it's not by acknowledging, it goes beyond just acknowledging. And at the end of the day, you want to come back to your home country and you want to say that your home country is better, your home country is doing well. Okay, I there was a joke about how a pastor went to an African country that was actually doing well, and he kept talking. He's a Nigerian pastor, and he kept saying, "Oh, if you're looking for visa, you get your visa today." And everyone was looking at him weird. And they're like, people don't really necessarily see traveling abroad. That's what the congregation told him. That people don't necessarily see traveling abroad like how Nigerians see it as a do or die affair. You travel, you have the opportunity, you go for holiday, but you come back. Why? Because the system works for them.
Okay.
Nigerians that live in the country have every right to leave the country. It's their resources, it's their time. And I get that they say they've put in so much work. But as they're living, they're not making the country better.
They are, and I'll tell you that they are.
How?
Yes, see, Nigerians in diaspora still provide a maximum, it still contributes maximum in our gross domestic product.
All they do.
Our GDP in the country. Yes, they do.
No.
From there, they finance a lot of things here. Yes, they're still giving into the country. All right, now
Again,
let me tell you another reason people travel.
Okay.
Like, they travel fine to get the expertise. All right? They need. Most of them have this country at heart. But they're going there to grab some knowledge, right? To come back home to fix it. But at the moment, even when they go there, some of them even stay there for more than expected. After school, they're supposed to come back. But after school, they're still there. Because coming back to what actually? Coming back to what exactly?
So let me ask you a question. Okay. If you say that the Nigerian system is bad and that if you have the opportunity, you will leave. If you leave and we all leave, you do know that the situation will only get worse. Is that what you want for your country? The country that
you're preaching about patriotism right now.
The country that is using your words, the country that is dear to your heart. Is that what you want for your country? Because if everybody's leaving, there's nobody else. There's going to be. Okay, let me give an example. Let me tell you something that is that you may not know. So now we have a large population, and most of the people who are migrating abroad are professionals that we've already established. That leaves who behind? It leaves behind illiterates. It leaves behind people who do not go to school, people who do not have any form of education. And what do you think?
Why would they have form of education?
No, cutting me short. Now, what do you think happens to those people? It means when it comes to time for election, they are more likely to vote for whichever party funds their pocket. Yes or no? If you do not go to school, if you're an illiterate, you do not know your rights, and somebody tells you, okay, I'll give you a bag of rice, just vote for me, you're more likely to vote for that person. And when you vote for that person, you're also allowing those same bad people remain in power. So what happens when every professional person leaves and only people who do not know their rights, only children are left behind?
What you ask is, what population of Nigeria makes up the people that have the voting power? Do you understand my question?
Okay.
Yes. Population of Nigerians that can effect change in the election. What are they?
It's our youths.
The youth, at least you're up to 18.
Yes.
Good. There are so many. Now, if those people that are eligible to vote,
okay,
there are many of them. Okay. Why are you even calling them illiterate? Because they don't have basic education.
I'm saying that if
Right?
everybody, if all the professionals, all the educated people leave this country, we're going to be left with uneducated people. And
Should there be uneducated people in the country?
I don't understand your point.
There shouldn't be uneducated. Listen, now I'm trying to say that the government has failed so bad that they've refused to improve the education system, so there will be less educated people.
So if the government has failed so bad, is the solution to leave or to demand accountability from your
We
government?
have demanded accountability for a very long time. This corruption of a thing did not start today. It has been there since time immemorial. These people that have decided to travel now, they've planned, they've been working towards this for a very long time. Some of them are even trying to see if the country will even change. But it keeps on getting worse and they go. They even plan for their children to even, after your school here in secondary school, you will still leave. Do you understand? Their plan did not just start. They didn't just wake up as I'm leaving. They're leaving because what they're doing is not working. Their businesses are not growing. They're owing them. So, I mean, they didn't just wake up to leave. That's what I'm telling you. They've allowed the system to work. It's not working. So they leave. You can't call me to do patriotism when I'm hungry. I should stay and vote when my vote will not count. I will also leave. That's it. My safety first. My family first. Before the lovely country. Do you understand? So living, if you have the opportunity to live for a better life, where there is orderliness, live. That is my stand here, like wholeheartedly.
Well,
I'm going to Japa.
over to you. If you had the opportunity to Japa, would you stay in this country and try and make it work? Or would you leave the country for greener pastures? And that's where we're going to end our argument today. You've listened to both sides of the conversation, both points. So it's up to you to make what decision you feel is best for you and your family. So I have some questions I wanted to throw to the panel for everyone to answer. So number one, can you Japa and still build Nigeria?
Capital yes.
How?
Now, people that have already Japa,
Okay.
all right? If you look at the house, they still have people at home here.
Okay.
Like you said, some of them, their grandmothers are here, they have relatives, that they even support their schooling from abroad.
So how is that building Nigeria?
Listen. Remember, you should know how Nigeria make their revenue every
Okay.
month, yes. Even though we're trying to tend to give people subsidized standard of living, you see direct revenue in education, in our resources, oil, importation and export. That's how Nigeria get their revenues, right?
Okay.
Now these people own businesses too. They import things in the country to sell. They pay their export and import duties to the economy. Every now and then, I know one of my people that import cars from abroad. So when he imports the cars, he pays import duties to the country. He's generating revenue for the government. And they sell the cars, he gets his gain, they send it back to him. He's indirectly helping to increase the GDP of the country. That's a very major contribution. Some of them pay for their relative schools here. They help to pay their tuition fees in Nigeria. It's also Nigeria make money in the education sector. And that is it. They pay for their relative hospital bills and all that. So all this money they are bringing in is a way they're helping the country, generate revenue for the country. You know how much diasporas make for Nigeria every year?
Now, yeah,
Huge amount of money.
I understand, especially during December period, that's December, when we have an influx of tourists coming into Lagos State.
Okay.
There has been research to show that they actually make a lot of money during this period.
They do.
But I think you are confusing generating income with building Nigeria.
Look, generating income.
I believe that once you Japa, you can generate income, you can help, but I don't think you can Japa and still build Nigeria. An example I'm going to use is NSAS. So during that NSAS period, there were people in diaspora who wanted to help. They were contributing money to this lady's account.
Okay.
When time came for the lady to give account of how the money broke spent, there were there was mixed feelings about it. So people allegedly believed that she had squandered the money. Some believed that her transparency wasn't actually being honest because it wasn't detailed as one should expect from the amount she raised.
Okay.
So they abroad wanted to make an impact. But at the end, this is what happened. So I think now you can Japa and still contribute to the Nigerian economy using, like you said, import and export, coming to Nigeria and coming to Nigeria for that December, contributing to the GDP, but you're not building Nigeria. In fact, people that come to Nigeria,
It depends on what you call building.
building is making it a better place.
It's a better place. I mean, we need more revenue than our expenditure.
When it comes to revenue, let's be very honest. We have enough sources of revenue to not be in debt. We have enough sources of revenue to make this country better. Revenue is not our problem. Revenue, you're saying that your uncle is contributing to import and export, contributing to GDP, is not him building Nigeria. It's him contributing to the income of Nigeria. That's the future. That means going and coming back. Question number 2, is Japan at the future?
Yes, listen. A reasonable, sensible person that's Japan
Yes.
will come back home.
Why?
Why? Because there's love at home. This is where the impact is made.
Okay, but if the country is bad, I feel like if your country is bad, it's worse when you've traveled out. Like, let me give an example. Let's say you've grown up all your life in this country. You know that this country is bad, but then you now travel to a country where there's law, things work, the system works. You know that every minute you spend, you'll be complaining. If I was in the States right now, if I was in Canada right now, because you know that that system works. So I'm saying that if everybody's leaving and you're not making your country work, even if you Japa and come back, you're coming back to me that same country that you ran away from. Do you get what I'm saying?
You know, I believe the country works for certain people. Like, the country is worse if you don't have nothing.
Okay.
You don't have money.
Okay.
You don't have the resources. But when you Japa and get something and come back, the country will kind of align slimly for you somehow. Yeah, let's be realistic. Yes, it will.
Okay.
If it's all those permits you need to pay, you will just offset.
So basically, that's our bribery and corruption.
The corruption in the country. Sorry,
we are saying that it's better for you to Japan and come back home with resources to bribe your way.
No, I didn't say bribe. No. I said you have a way to align things.
Okay. Now, the alignment.
Now listen. Where you want to be extorted. Now, when a common man wants to start something with these little resources, the government might frustrate you, the system.
Okay.
You might not be able to foot some bills, to allow your smooth running of your whatever that's going on in your industry or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you have money, foreign currency, from where you come from, you can be able to pay that. Okay, let's just pay. Let's get moving.
Okay.
It's easier for you when
the way you speak about
money.
This jackpot thing sounds like somebody goes over there and they'll pack the money and come back.
It's the real deal. Okay. It's better than staying here.
Question number 3, please. Can someone love Nigeria and still live?
Yes.
I feel like Nigeria is like a toxic marriage. Let's say, with a bad boyfriend or girlfriend. While you may have love for them, you already know that situation, that relationship is not sustainable and is not feasible for you any longer. So probably you could say, oh, you know what, I love you and I want you to work on yourself, but this our relationship cannot
stay. Let me come back.
So yes, I do believe that someone can love Nigeria and still want to live.
Yes.
Question number 4. Should people live and stay there forever? There are 2 main arguments for this. I didn't know in your head. Some people will go there and be like, you know what, I'm going to live and die in this US. Nothing you want to tell me. But then there's some people that believe that I want to go and I want to visit regularly. A very good example of this is Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She's the lady who I know comes back very frequently. I believe she comes back at least between 2 to 4 times a year. Chimamanda will come back.
Yeah.
But then,
it's quite unfortunate that she came back this time and then met her Waterloo. The unfortunate incident that happened.
That's not the first unfortunate incident to happen to her, actually.
And I also had that should have been an avoidable mistake.
Yes, and the funny part was there was a time that Chimamanda's father was kidnapped by his driver. That was one of the reasons. I think he used to stay in Enugu before.
Okay.
And then he decided, I'm just going to relocate back to my village. His driver, he had a driver. The driver connived with like 3 other people, and they kidnapped him. They asked him, tell your daughter who is abroad to
bring money.
They asked for, the thing is, most Nigerians believe that the moment you're abroad, they have this high expectation of you, how you're supposed to pack this money and come down. So they asked for a very huge sum. and she and her family members were trying to raise the money. And then they started taunting the man that his children do not love him because obviously they've not brought the money the
The
minute
money,
they asked.
yeah.
And he said, don't you ever say that to his kidnappers that my children love me.
Even though she still comes back.
So you see how sometimes you cannot save everybody. She's over there, she has a better life. Her children probably have dual citizenship, but
Yes.
it still translates to the people you leave behind. Although you would say that her own case might be because she is a very popular celebrity. Do you understand?
And she came back to a system that has not changed.
Yes, and you see how it
It's never been
affected
working.
both her child and both her dad.
It's quite unfortunate. We have a lot to work on this system.
Yeah. So should people leave and stay there forever? Honestly, I feel like this one. What do you? Okay, I feel like this is personal choice. If you
Yes.
want to stay there forever, just make sure that whatever you're doing, you make plans for your old age. You will not always be this young. You will not always be this agile. So you have to make sure that you plan for yourself, whether it's over there or whether it's here.
Myself personally, I won't stay forever.
Okay.
Look, Nigeria, we are rich in
You want to come
culture.
back and eat your abacha?
Exactly. I
You want
can't
to
miss
come
my
back for
palm wine
your
and,
New Year festival?
hey, as a culture, they have to come back. Listen, if I have any meet with Japa,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm making plans to come back every year, especially during the December period. We are blessed with good food. We're blessed with culture. You know, I want to come back and experience all those things, then pack some food and I will still go back.
Okay.
You know,
But
it's not to stay there forever.
Are you of the opinion that you would leave and then once you're like 60, you finally retire and come back to Nigeria?
I don't know what will happen, but I think
So what's the definition
I
of
always go and come
live
back.
and stay there? You want to be living and staying there, even not till 100. I don't understand.
Yes.
Or you want to leave and
I
then come
believe-
back at the time and retire?
Yes, I believe Nigeria is sweeter when you have retired. When you must have set everything all right for yourself, then you come back and, make home look like over there. You come back. So
Okay.
I don't think people should go there and stay forever.
But I just want to ask a question. If you leave and you come back when you're retired, how can you contribute to the country? Like, as opposed to when you come back in your 30s.
Remember, before then, I must have built something.
We're not talking about, you see, you are kind of mistaking personal empowerment for Nigerian empowerment. What you're talking about is probably you come back, you have your house here that you've built, you have enough money that you saved in the bank, so you just living a simple life. In fact, you'll be the village person just going around the village, all your children are trained and everything.
No.
But what I'm saying is, you're more able to do what's that word? You're able to do more expect and do more change when you're younger.
When you're younger.
So if you come back when you're retired, you're probably going to come back with as just a tale bearer. All you're going to be telling people is tales and stories. How can you actually impact and make change? Can you still do that? Can you still make change?
If my retirement age is, I say 60,
Okay.
for instance, if I come back 60 years old, I'm still active. There are a lot of things a 60-year-old can do. How old is your president, Winifred?
True. That's a very, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's the reason why we are where we are now, because of his age.
A lot can happen.
Okay, so question number 5. Does leaving Nigeria mean that you've given up on it?
No, I don't give up easily. Personally, yeah, I don't give up easily. I love Nigeria so much.
I'm sorry, but I believe that if you leave Nigeria, you've really given up on it. I'm sorry. Say anything you want to say, and that's okay. See, that is okay if that is it. But I believe that if you're living this Nigeria, it means, like you said, people don't wake up one day and decide to go. They must have been looking at the economy, watching and say, will things improve? Will things not improve?
Yes.
Even the money that we call proof of funds, most people don't gather it in one day. They stay years before they gather it. So it's not a one-day decision. So all that 4 years, you've been planning your life. As well that 4 years, let's say it took you 4 years to prepare. You've been planning your life for this very day. To me, I feel like if you're leaving Nigeria, it means you've given up on it. And that is okay.
I can't give up on Nigeria.
But why are you not leaving it?
To go and get the expertise, the skill, the resources, and come back and build it. Honestly.
When you're 60.
It depends. If when I'm 60, yeah, I'll still make a change. But as I am there, I'll be coming back, like I told you. But staying here permanently, you will not grow.
Okay.
Do you understand? You will not grow.
Question number 7. If Nigeria was functioning, would you still leave?
To be honest with you.
Okay.
That person is for me, right?
It's for everybody.
Yes. If Nigeria was functioning the way it would be,
yeah,
I would stay. My Japa will only be for my vacations. maybe to explore new places, to add to my travel history.
Yeah.
And we are, I'm going to stay. This Nigeria is beautiful. Okay. Now, even though we like orderliness and all those
Yeah.
things, this place is still beautiful. I mean, the food, man.
I do get your
I'm sorry,
point,
do you
and yeah, I
understand?
agree with you. If
Yeah.
Nigeria was functioning, I would
I
still
will
stay.
stay
I would just travel to other countries and come
and
back, but this
explore,
would be
then come
my
back.
home.
Yes.
All right. Question number 8: can someone who lived abroad for 20 years still call themselves a Nigerian?
Of course.
Yeah, I think so
I
too.
think so because people who have first country, and when you're staying abroad for more than that age,
Yeah.
definitely you get their citizenship,
But
right?
when we
But
talk
there's the
about
first country.
being in Nigeria, it's not just because obviously anybody who is born to Nigerian parents is automatically a Nigerian citizen.
What
We're
does it
talking
mean?
about it in terms of a child who was born over there
Yeah.
and is a Nigerian, born to Nigerian parents, and someone who
Okay.
grew up here. They've seen Nigeria through a different lens. There's
Yeah.
being Nigerian and being Nigerian,
Okay.
like understanding the culture, the roots. So I'm saying, can you still call yourself that type of Nigerian?
Yes, I think it depends on the parents. Okay, when you give birth over there,
Okay.
it's the function of the parents to inculcate that cultural value to the child. Let the child always know that, hey, you are from Nigeria. This is your first country.
Yeah.
You are here as this. It's the work of the parents to instill that in the child.
You make a very valid argument,
Yes,
because I've
that's it.
seen whites, like mixed people who speak Igbo fluently. They speak Igbo like
You
so
see,
good, speak Yoruba so good that you would know that their parents really went through, ensured that they knew their
the
language and they knew
language.
their culture. Not just, there was one, a white boy, not white but mixed. I don't know what he's mixed with. And he was like,
Yes.
"Oh yeah, with our Oji, with our undo." I was like, okay, okay.
You see them scrambling to know our language. What
He
about
speaks it
us?
so fluently. It's
That's
just
it.
beautiful.
So it's possible.
Okay. Number 9, question number 9, is asking people to stay fair if the government has failed to provide securities and opportunities.
Very unfair.
I feel like it's 50-50.
Yeah, it's 80-20. Now, listen, I used to watch all these action movies
Okay.
where, when the president is walking and there are assassins that want to shoot
Yeah.
him, and then the bodyguards come and say, shoot me instead. Leave the president. They want to die for their president.
Yeah.
That is patriotism.
The ego has been secured. The ego has been
You
secured.
know the reason? Because they're getting everything as citizens of that country. The economy is giving them everything. Take care of their children till a certain age. Yes,
Not
in
in all
UK.
countries. Not in all countries.
I know. In UK, for instance, you see children, they take care of children till they're 18. The government takes care of the children till they're 18 years.
Yeah.
Imagine how much, finance they've offset for the parents. And you see them going to hospitals and literally like free. Even if they are being taxed, they don't feel the taxation.
They feel the taxation, but I would say that they also
don't
know
feel
the
directly.
impact. Like, you're being taxed, but you can also see what your tax is doing for you. So that's why they see that, okay, I'm being taxed, but I can see the work is doing for
Exactly,
me.
we are saying the same thing. We
Yeah.
are seeing it. Okay, now imagine you now if the president is behind you, you say, Kimi, and
I would say Kim. Okay, but I get your point.
lie, babe.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's unfair to ask people to stay. It's like
Exactly.
putting people in a prison and then you're being shocked that they're trying to leave.
Exactly.
Because that's kind of how it feels in Nigeria. Like, we're prisoners and it feels like our situation is not getting any better.
It's not.
But then again, I worry that if everyone leaves, there'll be no one to make this government more accountable, and it'll be like free for all. There's a I don't know if I call it a theology, that you never notice what something is doing until it's no longer there. Let me give an example. I'm trying to give like a very good example, but let me use US for example. So currently in the United States of America, if you guys know Taco Bell, they're like a popular restaurant chain.
Yeah, I know Taco Bell.
They're facing there's an outbreak there. So Taco Bell uses a particular type of vegetable in their meals, and they source this vegetable from a farm.
Okay.
So now they realize that they source the vegetable from the farm, and people were getting sick from the vegetable. So right now they stop producing that food. Remember that it's not their food that's making them sick, but the fact that it's the vegetable that they source from that farm. Now, that vegetable that they source from that farm, remember that in every country there are always laws and regulations that regulate whatever comes out of a farm, for example, that make sure that
Okay.
whatever comes out of the farm is up to date, whatever comes out of the farm is good for people to eat.
Yeah, it's
So
clean.
there's an association that is responsible for ensuring that food meets a particular standard.
Okay.
Now that association was supposed to, let's just say, I'm paraphrasing here, but the association is supposed to check the standard of food based on 7 things, for example.
Okay.
So their president reduced those 7 things to 2. Now, one of those things that the association would have normally checked for was in one of those things that he removed. So that was why that batch food was able to go unnoticed until people started getting sick. Do you understand what I'm saying now?
Okay, yes.
So that's why I say that is actually, I say it's 50-50. Now, my point is that is an example of when you don't know you're being protected by something until that thing is removed.
Okay.
Most people in America do not even know about this law that used to check food and everything. They didn't know it. They know that, okay, fine, we have regulations for food, but they didn't know that the government has removed a particular one that allowed bad food to go unnoticed and allowed them to be sick.
Okay.
I know that Nigeria is terrible now, but sometimes I worry that if everybody who has a voice leaves, it will get worse. I feel like we're on the precipice of major destruction. Think about it. It feels like sometimes if the government would have killed us 100 times, they kill us 50 because they're like, people are watching, you know. People can raise awareness. But if everybody stops caring, if everybody leaves, I always worry that it will be like free for all. Do anything you want to do. Do you understand my point? So that's why sometimes I worry. And I'm not saying that, oh, this country is so good that we should stay. But what if everybody leaves and then it's just like
you actually have a point there.
do whatever you want to do because nobody's going to fight for anybody anymore. Because everybody has carried their own family and they've left.
Yeah, you actually have a point there. We just that we need to find the means to make the system work for us.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, we have to.
Okay, this is a tricky one. The last question, number 10.
Okay.
If one Nigerian in abroad employed 100 people in Nigeria, has that Nigerian done more than someone who stayed behind in Nigeria?
I think this question is very is you've already answered it. You're closing your book.
Oh, that's my last question.
Of course, now employ 100 people. Do you know how much people you've removed from poverty?
But you're trying to now what you're trying to say is that anybody who's staying in Nigeria doesn't have the capacity. People are staying in Nigeria and employing people. Okay, let me give an example.
I'm paying them what?
Wait. Also, we do not talk about payment for this. We talk about employing 100 people. You're the one bringing. You're the one shifting the goalpost.
No,
now.
when you employ somebody, you should.
But shifting the goalpost. You choose someone over there without even mentioning it in Savasara. I see.
No. They have
because the moment I said people are doing the same thing in Nigeria, I'm paying them how much.
You can employ them and then they're acting like slaves for you there. You don't pay them well.
Warehouse Owerri is owned by a particular person. Warehouse Port Harcourt is owned by a particular person. He owns Warehouse Port Harcourt. He owns Friends. He owns Warehouse Owerri. He owns a lot of places, and he has employed close to 500 people. Now let's even leave Port Harcourt. Let's look at restaurants in Lagos that also employ people. Do you get? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we should be careful not to imply that anybody who stays is poor.
It's not everybody that no.
I've not made so people who stay also have the ability to employ people. Who wants to say that one person that stayed did not have the ability to employ people, did not create opportunities for people? This is a very simple question, and you've already chosen the foreign person.
No, listen. Now, it's employment, yes.
Okay.
The pay is important too. We can't escape the pay because of the economic situation now, the inflation.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm abroad,
you know they don't really pay us well. Let's be very honest. People abroad, when it comes to paying Nigerians, they do not tend to pay us well.
How are you basing that on?
I'm basing that on personal experience, and I'm basing that on what I do see.
Okay, if they don't pay well, then that's very bad. But the remuneration should not be escaped here. You are employing me. How much are you paying me? And how much is the other person paying? So that's what we should look at too.
No, simple question. A Nigerian abroad who employs 100 people in Nigeria, are they doing more than somebody who stayed behind? That's just, don't subtract to my question.
Yes, and another yes.
Okay.
Do you understand? Yeah, I mean, you are still out there, you're still thinking about people here. I mean, that's too much.
Okay,
that's great.
I don't think, seriously.
Why don't you think so?
Because if you're employing people in Nigeria, it's because you're not paying them the money you're paying. Like, if I was to employ somebody in the US, I know how much I'll pay them compared to how much I'll pay in Nigeria. So they're not.
But
They're not
you
doing
can't
you.
compare the currency.
No, you said something like you said that they're over there and thinking about us. No, they're using us because we are cheap labor compared to employing their US counterpart, and that's okay because at the end of the day, everybody still gets
Well,
paid.
hold on. You expect them to employ the US counterpart when the economy, the thing they establish is in Nigeria. You want them to employ US to come and work in Nigeria.
I'm saying,
what are you saying?
things like virtual roles, like if you need a virtual assistant now,
Okay.
someone who in abroad would take a virtual assistant in Nigeria because they know that if they were to employ a virtual assistant in US, they won't pay that person anything less than.
Every business person will do something that will have
So
profit in
yes,
her.
and that's okay. But you're like, they're thinking of us. I'm trying to explain that they're not thinking of us. Everybody's looking out for themselves.
Oh,
that we are also being employed because we are a better and cheaper option, which is okay.
I'm the one that made the mistake in the question.
Do you
I was talking
understand?
about establishing a physical.
I say don't add and don't
Okay,
subtract.
virtual.
Don't add, don't subtract to my question.
The ones I know
you
are
can
paying
employ
well.
people in Nigeria, your business can be based over there because people can.
Yes.
Okay, what if it's a developer? The developer doesn't have to be in that country. You can build apps, you can build websites for people even in Nigeria. What if it's a personal assistant in Nigeria? What if it's a project manager?
Let that person Japa. If you Japa, you get more money.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is they're not doing it out of love, but out of the fact that it will cost them less to pay in Nigeria than to pay somebody over there, which is okay.
But they're employing you.
Exactly, which is okay. But don't mistake. It's like all these people that will come and be begging, like your employer will pay you salary and I say thank you. Don't mistake something that is done for business out of something that is done for gratitude. Do you understand my point? My point is a Nigerian is employing another Nigerian is probably doing it because it's cheaper. Maybe the person is also a startup person looking for how to reduce costs. So it's like, let me employ other Nigerians to be cheaper to pay them than paying US people. That's okay. But it's not out of love or patriotism. And that is also okay.
How do you know?
Okay. Okay. No problem.
How do you know, my sister?
No problem. This is what I believe, though.
I just believe if you are there and see you think they're trying to employ people, you're doing a great job.
Okay, I believe that if you're there and trying to employ people, it's because you're getting labor for cheaper and you'd have paid them, which is also okay. You're still employing people, Abby. So it's okay. But
I'm still paying them more than people that are here that can
let the facts just be clear.
Okay.
I think that's all.
Oh, that's nice.
So I think with this we will be ending this episode. So remember that if you're looking for discussion-based podcast, anything on relationship, marriage, the economy, the government, dating, drama, it's here you will find.
Yes, here we say it as it is.
Yes, we explore both sides of the conversation. That's why this podcast is double-sided. And with that, we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.